Hi guys, we are back and our hat is completely dry. I actually helped this along a little bit with a hairdryer, which you can totally do as well if you just want to keep on keeping on. So our next layer for the hat is going to be just defining some clouds. So I'm going to start off with white and a nice clean brush. I also, and it's a dry brush as well, I'll just point that out. I also threw out my old paint water and just sort of cleaned out my jar and put some new water in, because otherwise the water actually had gone blue because it's the strongest pigmented colour that I have. And if you're wanting to do yellow colours and things like that, you're going to end up with green. So always kind of, just if your water's getting a little murky, just top up and give it a clean while you're going about your business. While you're in between stages is usually how I do it. So I'm just going to pop a few sort of white colours in, and they will pick up the colour that's underneath and blend. And you will get a few sort of whitish little bits of cloud coming through anyway in a sunset or a sunrise. Thinking the way this is going, oh, it's hard to tell actually which way it's, if it's sunset or sunrise, but either one, doesn't matter. So yeah, just popping in a few little cloud formations. I usually just like to do these by spinning my brush and just blending everything together. So you can see when you're using white, it's pretty forgiving. You can kind of just blend it through, just over that. And this is just to give a little bit of contrast and a bit of light to sort of your clouds, your light coming up from the bottom where the sun is going down. So the sun's going down over here on the concept art. So we're just going to put the sun in, and we're going to start off with a nice little white disc for the sun going down. So what I have here probably doesn't look like it's making much sense at the moment, but once we finish filling in our clouds and stuff and we start to draw in the silhouettes of the palm trees, you'll understand what we're doing. So bear with me and all will become clear later on. And just sort of blend the sun through like that, because it's sort of actually going to be a few different colours. It's going to be lightest at the crown, at the corona. Whatever you want to call it. Okay. Alright. So there's our sun, and we're just going to let him sit there. Oops. Fix that up. Let him sit there and dry while we fill in the rest of the clouds. And clouds are very easy to paint. They're a very forgiving thing to paint. You can just dot them on. Just sort of get those few little broken up little clouds. We're not expecting a tornado or a giant thunderstorm or anything here, so I'm just going to have a few little. So we're putting these on in white to serve also as a base for the actual colour that the clouds are going to be. Going to be a lot of plants in this corner, so I'm not going to go too crazy with clouds in that corner because that's going to be mostly obscured by our plants. I was thinking about, not sure if I'm going to draw them on with the black pen or if I'm going to use paint. I think I'm probably going to use the paint actually. Because, believe it or not, there's all different sort of shades of black, if that makes sense. And, yeah, the pens are not as dark as the paint. And I think I want that really crisp sort of black for the silhouette. Okay, so we're just gonna like dot on a few little colours just to have those colours reflecting in the clouds. And as you can see, it's starting to fill in and look a bit more like a proper sunset. So now it's okay to start sort of wetting your brush a little bit now that we've got that white on. A little bit of yellow over here. I'll start off with that sort of dark, a little bit of yellow there. Just dot on a little bit of the orange. So you can see how you get your cloud formations, and they're really simple. It's just dotting on the paint just in any shape you like. And you can sort of highlight it with a lighter yellow where that sun's reflecting up onto it. This paint is drying super quick, so if you are in a hot climate, if you're following me from Australia or warmer climates, like Miami or Jamaica, places like that, I don't know who's following me from where, but thank you very much, everybody anyway, for following me in the first place. It means a lot. Good idea to keep a spray bottle handy because your paints are just going to dry up. Mine are drying up as I'm painting this. So okay, now I'm going to get this round sort of a brush here, and I'm just going to use a little bit of white, and this is, again, it's fairly dry, and that's how you can blend it. It depends. You can leave your clouds sharp like that if you want to, or you can get your white and you can just blend them down a little bit more just to soften them up. I like the clouds kind of soft for a sunset, so, and I'm not putting very much paint on the brush. You just want enough to just sort of softly blend it through. And again, if you're following along and it's not looking exactly like mine, please don't worry about that. Everybody has their own way of doing their art, so it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Just hop on in and have fun and enjoy the process. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a few more little clouds on, and probably by the time I've done that, the sun will be dry and ready to paint. So I'm just going to hop on in and do these clouds, pop some music back on, and I'll be back with you shortly.
Truth was lies. I wanna rewind. Isn't it obvious?
guys, we are back. I had to take a lunch break, so I decided I'd take a lunch break and let the last layer we did dry. My stomach wouldn't stop growling and it was hella distracting. So now we're just going to go ahead and just refine the sky a little bit more, paint the sun in, and then we're going to let that dry, and then we can paint in our silhouettes of the trees. So I'm just going to pop on some music and just do this real quick, and then we can start filling in the rest of the design. And also we'll do the design for the bill, and we're going to just tidy that up with some pens, and we might refine the sky a little bit more with pens as well. Just depends how the mood takes me, but she's looking pretty good so far. So I'm just going to pop some more music on and let's get on with the next step.
The truth that they are hiding, it's nothing that I fear. And I know that hate is mindless, covering every possible kiss. So tell me why it matters, and tell me what you miss. Is this love that you're showing, or just another misleading play?
So now we're going to paint the sun in. Towards the top we're going to have our lightest yellow. So we'll mix up quite a bit of white with yellow for that. Probably from there to there will be your lightest yellow. And we can even put a little bit of white at the top there when that dries, as it starts to descend into the sea, which is what it's doing, but you can't actually see the sea on our design. It gets darker towards the bottom, and it'll pick up the hues that it's sending out as well. And then you just sort of blend it in, because you still want to have that nice gradient there. You don't want it to be a harsh line. So if we grab a clean paintbrush and just a tiny little bit of white, and you can sort of just blend that through a bit better, so you've got a nice gradient rather than the harsh sort of line between the colours. And you just blend it down. You can darken the bottom up as you go. That's kind of doing it pretty well naturally there. Yeah, we're going to have darker orange towards the bottom. And again, we can blend that. Just blend it through so it's nice and soft. There's our sun sinking into a red sea at the end of a warm summer's day. You know, I always wondered what it would be like to have Christmas with snow and stuff, but I've been watching a lot of your all's videos from overseas, and I'm like, yeah, no, I think I'm good. It looks terribly cold. I don't like the cold. I don't like the wet. I'm just so used to it being warm at Christmas time. I honestly don't know what I'd do with a cold Christmas. We had an unseasonably cold day yesterday, and that was enough for me, seriously. I was like, what? It's supposed to be summer. And it keeps happening. It's really strange. We'll get these absolute spot-on scorches of days. You can go swimming, you know, cool drinks, the whole, everything that makes summer good. And then the next day it can be absolutely freezing. Our climate has been extremely weird here for the last couple of years. So you just, most of the time you just don't even know what to expect. So, but they say our La Nina is supposed to be clearing off next month. So I'm hoping that they're right about that. I mean, this is the Bureau of Guesserology, as we call them over here. And your guess is as good as mine as to what it's going to do next. All right, so there we have our sun going down. At the end of the day, we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back in with our black. I think we will use paint, and we're going to put our trees and everything across and in the background. So we'll let that dry, and then I will be right back. All right, so we're back again, and we're ready to start putting our silhouettes onto our hat. So because they're quite thin, we're going to use a really thin little brush. I'm going to use this brush, and we're going to start painting in black. So, all right, we have one skinny little tree near the sun just there. So I'll paint that in there. You guys can see, okay. All right, so this is pretty straightforward. You're just painting the shadow in as you see it, and it gets painted in black. So there's really not that much to it at all. Should be fairly straightforward for you guys to follow along. So I'm just going to pop the music back on now, and we'll get closer to getting our hat finished. I wanted this to just be a fun, quick little art and craft video for you guys.
Whatever you want, I'll settle for nothing, as long as we can keep the fire. I'll do whatever you do, follow you anywhere, if our chances are getting brighter. But I want you to know I can't help but fight this feeling. I want you to try. Imagine living without it, so let's go. We're fighting for, you know, I've been standing right next to you, oh, I know it won't be easy, but it's true, we will regret what we didn't do, I know you're feeling it too, this short is something, I know that this will take us higher. I'll do whatever you do. Let's take cover before our chances are getting darker. But I want you to know I can't help but fight this feeling. I want you to try. Imagine living without it, so let's go. Heaven is worth fighting for, you know. I've been standing right next to you, run through my feelings sometimes. Got misdirected, you know what to say. And I was telling myself many lies, just like the old days. So is that what you want? Bring it in. Another level and you feel like quitting. You can tell, and we will surely be paying the price. Don't know about you, but I feel we're winning. So let's go. Heaven is worth fighting for, you know. I'll be standing right next to you, next to you. Oh, I know it won't be easy, but it's true. We will regret what we didn't do, what we didn't do. We will regret what we didn't do, what we didn't do.
There is our silhouettes painted on the hat. So I'm going to let that dry, and when I come back we will just tidy these little side bits up, and we're going to put our Hello Summer and our little flower on the bill. Okay, it's been a little bit of time and we're ready to go on with the next part of our hat. Now, we're going to be using our pens for this part because I think that would be the easiest way to go. I'm going to put some lettering on here, and it's going to complement our colours in our sunset. Alright, and as you can see with this part, I have put some cute little birds on there because I love birds, and I just think it gives it a little bit more interest. Alright, so we've got, sure you guys can see, our Hello Summer. So we're just I'm gonna start this off with yellow because we're gonna want to put a little bit of orange. Goes around there. And the easiest way if you're doing lettering is to just follow the shape of it. And that'll get you your lettering that you want. I've found that's the easiest way because lettering's hard. I find it's probably harder than just drawing a picture, you know. Hello Summer. And you could do this with every season. You could have a hat for every season, and you could have Hello Winter, Hello Autumn, Hello Spring. Whichever is your favourite season, you could do a hat for every season if you wanted to, if you were so inclined. So we've got our Hello, and then Summer. I'm actually kind of lucky. I've picked a fairly easy kind of lettering to do here, which is probably good for me. And then we've got a little arrow underneath. Alright, now I'm going to use a lighter orange to begin with, because sometimes this can come out a little bit dark. It's surprising how dark it can come out at times. So I'm just going to go around the top there. It's sort of got that. Some of it's orange, some of it's yellow. And I might just like to do the whole thing orange with just the yellow sort of showing through a little bit. It kind of is a little bit easier to see with the darker colour. Because I keep forgetting too, if you've got something white on, like yellow on white, it can be a little bit on the hard side to see, because the white does tend to blend in with the yellow, or the yellow blends in with the white, whatever. But yeah, this is looking quite nice. And I kind of wanted to keep the lettering simple if you guys actually did follow along and did the whole video along with me. Okay, hello summer. And that's gets more orangey. The closer it gets to the tip. Okay, so we've got our hello summer. And that noise would be my husband on the tractor. We do live in a rural area. Okay, so we've got hello summer. I'm probably going to have to switch off the mic and go with the voiceover for the next part, because he's going to be making a heck of a lot of noise. So just bear with me and we'll draw this flower on here, and I'm just going to voice over because he's going to be making so much noise. It's not even going to be funny. And he knows that I'm in here doing this, but okay, whatever. All right. Oh, yay. It didn't go as long as I thought it was going to. Thanks to being here, it's broken down. Just follow the frangipani around. So what I think I'm going to do here is actually like draw this on with the texture and then paint it in, just so it's got that little bit more depth that you don't get with the texture. I mean, it's fine for the lettering, for a pretty flower. I think I want to actually... What on earth is he up to out there? Oh, he's busy. He's busy. So now I'm wondering, do I actually want that in pink or do I want it in a... Maybe we should do that in that pretty coral colour, because I need it to sort of complement the other colours we've used. So if we get the coral, I'm gonna put a little bit of white with it to start off with, because we want to start fairly light. Alright, I'm going to paint this in. I'm going to just put some music on while I do this. As you guys have seen me paint stuff before. And if Farmer Norm gets on the tractor again, it won't matter. going to go in with some... I wonder what he's doing out there. I can hear him sliding stuff around, but I don't know exactly what he's doing. It's quite funny. I'm not sure. Oh, there he goes again. Slide. Yeah, guys, it's not a poltergeist or anything haunted. It's just my hubby. For a change, you know. Yeah, I haven't stopped to check if it's in frame, but yes, it is. It's in frame quite well. Okay, cool. And I mean, it depends on your own personal taste when you're painting stuff too. You can have them. You can have things very hyper realistic. You can have things a little more cartoony. Sorry, I'm just getting messages coming in. I have two iPads. I have the one I'm filming on that I use as a second camera because I like to use it to film my my videos on, and I'm getting messages, so it's a little distracting, but that's okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, you can have things look cartoony. You can have things very hyper realistic. It all just depends. Actually, I think I like how that looks just shaded without the stripiness that hibiscus have. Yeah, it's just your own personal preference. So however you want to do your designs, you do them your own way. And that's, as I've said before, what makes art so wonderful. Yeah, I'm getting messages from family because it's close to Christmas, you know, working out what we're going to be doing and stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to Christmas this year because I'm going to have a house full. And that hasn't happened for a long time, so that's going to be nice. Originally this flower was actually pink, but I really am digging it in the orangey sort of hues. So for the outside, I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I think I like that better. So this is the thing, even if you're designing your own things, you can change them. You can do whatever you want, really. It's all just up to the way you like to do things, and your own personal taste. out exactly how I want it, and I think I am just gonna leave it to just this section that I'm gonna paint. I'm just gonna leave it to the front of the hat, which is quite nice because I do like the white on the either side. All right, I'm gonna let this dry and then we can refine it. I think we can refine that a little bit with a pen, and we'll put the stamen in and we'll tidy this area here up, and then when all that's dry, we can spray it with the sneaker protector and she'll be done. So I'll be back soon, and we can finish this up, which is really cool. Okay. Guys, welcome back. I'm so sorry I didn't realize that the thing wasn't recording. So I have already refined the flower and the words on there, hello summer. I'm really sorry I didn't get that part on film. I thought it was recording, but apparently it wasn't. So sorry about that, guys. I apologize. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going along the edges here and just tidying them up a little bit. And just using the Mon Marte fabric pens to just touch this up some. I actually use the pens to refine the flower with a little bit of white paint. So that's what I did when this thing was not recording, and I thought it was. So we've got past the pink part, and I'm going to go down onto this little orange bit here with the orange pen. We'll use the light orange and see how that goes, just to neaten those edges up. And it's just these little things that you do that just make things look that little bit better when you're finishing them off. Neaten up that edge. I'm just going to neaten that up. You guys see? You can see. Neatening up that little edge bit there. That bit's done. So as you can see, it just makes it just that little bit neater along that edge. So we'll do this edge. And then I'm going to actually go and heat set the whole thing with the hairdryer. And then we're going to spray it with the sneaker spray. And that will protect your hat if you happen to be out and it starts pouring rain, or you need to throw it in the washing machine for whatever reason. It'll protect it from all the paint coming off. And this stuff works really well too, the sneaker protectant stuff. It seals it nice and tight. Oops, I've got the wrong end again, but I'm just going to give it a try. Anyway, yeah, no, it's okay. It still works for that width. It's not too bad at all. So as you can see, just going that little bit extra with the pens just really neatens things up nicely and just makes a bit better, more professional job out of your artwork. So that's the biggest tip I could give you guys, is always just neaten your edges when you're making something. And it's just, especially if you're making it for a gift for somebody special, it just makes it that a little bit, gives it that bit of extra pizzazz and professionalism. And there we go. Right, so now all we really need to do is, I'll just run a little bit more red along that edge just to make sure it's nice and neat. I get so picky with things. And there we go, she is, for all intents and purposes, done. I'm going to go and I'm going to give her a quick final dry with the hairdryer, and then we can spray the sneaker spray on. And you're going to want to keep your, I took the bag out for a little bit, but you're going to want to put that back in when you do the sneaker spray. So I'm going to go and give her a heat set with the hairdryer as well, and then we can spray the sneaker spray on and she'll be good to go. Okay guys, so she's pretty much done. Now we're just going to spray a little, and always put some cardboard under your shoes or your hat if you're going to spray them. And just stand back a little, just mist it on. It'll just mist on nicely there. You don't want too much because it can make the paint run a little bit if you're not careful. But that will protect your hat or your shoes, whatever it is you're making, from anything. Just put my signature on the back. From anything making it come off, any rubbing, or if you get caught in the rain, whatever. It makes it fully waterproof and safe. So now I'm going to let her sit there for about an hour so she can dry, and she's pretty much done. So that's it. That will do it for today's video. Please join me again, I'm hoping tomorrow, for another episode of Missing Down Under and a brand new case, and then we have another episode of the Oz Files on Friday. So stay tuned for that, and if anything else interesting comes up in the meantime, I will make a video about that as well. Thank you so much for being with me here today, guys. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. We do need people to like, share and subscribe to our channels and our videos. Because of that, you guys, we can't get any further ahead on YouTube. We need support, and we need wonderful people like your good selves to subscribe to us so that we can keep making videos for you guys and bringing you some awesome content. So that's going to do it for today, like I said, and thank you all so much for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.